Whoops.
What's the problem? The price or availability or both?
Uh, Hold on just a minute. I have something in front of the screen here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you're fine.
I don't know what's going on here, but I can't see you anymore. What do I do? Here, opt out.
You
Got it.
make sure that you're don't have a
Oh,
red line through the stop video.
wow.
Is it like a white rectangle that says that the thing's in progress, recording's in progress?
The recording has started, so don't press the one that says leave. You'll leave us. Goodbye.
Yeah. Okay. It says launch meeting on it for some reason.
Is there one that says got it?
I pressed that. Now it says launch meeting.
Oh.
We
I'm
can
gonna press.
see you. We can see you and hear you just
Oh,
fine.
oh, now I can see. Now I can see you. Something. Okay, I'm okay. Yeah, it's been a big hassle. There's all kinds of red tape. We've been negotiating. It's with UCLA for, I don't know, almost 2 years on their property, and the terms are kind of weird. So I looked at another place, but the parking is limited, and I don't know. And I keep thinking, oh, my age, and I probably shouldn't let that get in the way. I love what I do. I told everybody that, but I don't know. Maybe it's time for me to throw in the towel and just teach without administrating. I've been thinking about that lately, but wherever I go, it's a huge expense to start um, in another place because it never meets my needs. I always have to tear down walls, add walls,
Yeah.
put in soundproofing and lighting and all kinds of stuff, and so it's very expensive. Fortunately, during COVID, I received a sizable amount of loan, which is very reasonably priced to pay back. So I have that sitting in the bank. So that takes a lot of pressure off financially, but it's just a lot of work. And I don't know, part of me wants to hold back and not do it. And part of me says, hey, I've got to do it especially if I want to sell the business to somebody else. I that's younger and wants to do it and is wagging his or her tail to do it. I feel like I owe them to have a place to go to, and it would mean more money to me in terms of the sale if I have a definite place that I'm permanently involved in. In the meantime, the temporary location has just been bought by somebody who wants to tear the whole building down in a couple of months. So there's a lot of stress. That's all I have. Yeah. Yeah. In the meantime, I'm running off. I'm playing hooky for my business most of April during my birthday. Um, I'm going to Vegas for a international conference in music school owners in Vegas, and then I'm going to the Outer Banks, which is off of South Carolina, and have an all-girl family get together with my sister and daughter and granddaughter for a week. So that should be fun. Yeah.
Why did you pick the South Banks?
My granddaughter doesn't like long flights. She's just she's 10 years old and 11 now. And she's just reticent to go on long airline flights. So we actually deferred to her, and we wanted someplace that we've never been to. And none of us had ever been to. I've been to Charleston, which is just like 30 minutes away. This is called the Isle of Palms. It's very beautiful if you want to look it up. And we have a B&B together for a week with a view of the ocean and a big swimming pool. And if we want to go to the city, we can go to the city. If we want to play golf, we can play golf, tennis, kayak, bike, hike, swim, so it has a lot of possibilities.
That sounds like fun.
Hopefully there's no tornadoes, because I was just Is it tornado season in April in South
No.
Carolina?
No.
Oh, that's good. That's all we need is that.
I think tornado summer is late summer, early fall. Am I right? Anybody know?
I think you're right. On
But it's
best
not.
recollection. Yeah,
Because it needs the heat to
yeah,
fuel it, I think.
yeah. Yeah, I was just watching the news, and last year was the hottest year in our lives in the world, you know. Just it's very scary. There's so many scary things going on now.
Well, especially because Trump is so popular and denies human influence on climate change and denies democracy and loves autocrats like Putin. That's really scary. Does anybody want to speak up for Trump?
Not
Well,
me.
well, he may be our next dictator. So
Yeah.
watch what you say. Watch what you say.
Well, that's what he wants.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, no, I don't. Well, I don't know if anybody here is for pro
He's-
Trump, but
He's a spiteful
speak out if you want to.
Yeah.
Well,
person.
people that say he's going to be a dictator, it didn't happen the first 4 years he was president. A pox on both their houses, I say.
Well, the reason it didn't happen the first time is he had people like Kelly who was holding his hand. He wanted to bomb Iran or something, and the military said, "No, Trump, don't do it." That's why Trump was so he had people around him who had some kind of integrity, who weren't just yes men. But he won't have any. He won't appoint anybody who's other than a yes man or woman if he gets a second term. There won't be check and balances. So and he said that one good thing about Trump is he doesn't nothing subtle. He tells us what he's going to do. He's going to
Yeah,
the appointees, and he's going to be a dictator on the first day and cut taxes, and there'll be a bloodbath, and he'll put immigrants in camps. Wait, Taffy, in Idaho, it's more conservative. Is that right? Where you are?
Oh, yes, it is. It is. We have a lot of Trump supporters around here. Very conservative, Christian-based people. And I thought, if they're Christian-based, how can they like this person?
exactly.
The way he talks about women and treats women, and the way he is. To me, you know, people talk about being a good Christian. Well, how can you be a good Christian and support somebody who's like that?
Are you there, guys?
Evil.
Okay,
think-
here's
Evil. But a lot of people in Idaho.
oh, here's the sound. Hey, Gail.
What, John?
Kent just called. He didn't get the link for this
Why?
meeting.
Why don't you give it to him like you gave it to me?
Would you be able to send it to him? Or I guess I could, but I've lost my sound.
No, you can't. We can hear you. Whoops, where did he go? Oh, I can't hear you either, Ginny.
I haven't
Oh,
spoken
there you
yet. I just came on. I've only got 10 minutes, but I wanted to say hi to Roger.
Oh, hello.
Roger, hi. Roger and I went to, and I'm thinking back, Roger, you and I went to kindergarten together, right?
I
If
think
not
so.
kindergarten, if not kindergarten, then at least third grade on.
Oh, well, all through elementary school,
Oh,
Brentwood
What's-
Elementary.
I explained to Taffy. Taffy, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay, I explained to Taffy I've only got 10 minutes, and so I wanted to say hi to everybody.
Hi.
I've got two little dogs that I'm taking care of, and they're outside the door scratching. So,
Let us see them.
oh well, they're in with Gary, and I don't want to do anything. I've got pictures on my phone. You've seen them, Gail. You've seen pictures of them at least. They're two little dog, my daughter's dogs. So, but I just wanted to say hi to everybody, and I'm sorry I can't stay longer. And yes, Gail knows well, I'm a Republican, and but I know I'm in kind of hostile territory here. I'm not a Trumper. I don't think she believes me on that. But I think I agree with Roger. I think that no bad things happened the first time, they probably wouldn't. But I must say, I'm making a voice that I am not happy with Biden's 4 years. I don't think he's done a good job for the country. But I'll leave it at that because I'm here to just say hi to people and check in with people. And I know that we're all friends. Gail and I are friends, and we're on kind of opposite ends. I don't think I'm as radical as she thinks I am, but
No,
anyway.
Yeah, I am not hostile to Republicans. I've never felt
but I
that
don't
kind of-
consider Trump a Republican. I mean, he's not.
Well, and he's probably not. I think he was a Democrat most of his life. But anyway, I'm here to say hello to everybody. And
Hi.
Roger, it's good to see you. I know I sent you Taffy, I think you forwarded a letter from Roger to me. And I think, Roger, did you get a letter from me at one point a couple of
No,
years ago?
I think she's talking about the one there was
Your class.
went to D. Shropshire back in the day.
I think maybe we
Yeah.
talked about your daughter too. And that was a
yeah.
hard time for you. So anyway,
Still is.
everybody, it's good to see you. Anne,
Bye,
I saw
Jenny.
you a year
Jenny,
ago.
wait, it hasn't been 10 minutes. What was Roger like as a little boy?
Roger was fabulous. Roger was fabulous. In the 6th grade, we went to Al Jarvis's make-believe ballroom, right,
Oh,
Roger?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it was Roger and Dee Shropshire and me and Dave Kuhn and Jerry Brill and Sam Hathorn. Isn't that right?
Yes,
I got
that's
them
right.
all. And the thing I remember most, and I've told other people about this, is that when we were asked, we were coached on the ride into Hollywood for the filming of the Make Believe Ballroom. If any of you remember that,
Yeah.
it's like a dance show. And
Yeah.
we were told by one fellow, and it wasn't Roger, that when we were asked what school we went to, we were just supposed to say Brentwood. Some people would think perhaps it's a junior high school and not an elementary school.
Oh.
That's what I remember about that. So
Did you guys dance on the show?
we danced. I mean, no, I mean when I say dancing, it's couples dancing.
Like
It's
swing, left,
like
right,
swing
left.
dancing, yeah. And it's kind of funny because I have of course forgotten about this meeting today, but Taffy texted me this morning, and all morning I've been singing in my head, shaboom, shaboom. So, and I think that was one of the songs that we danced.
How fun.
So, yeah.
Kent, are you there? Did you get the link?
Kent is not here yet.
Okay, but you sent him the link? Because I can always send it to him if you want me to.
Yeah, I emailed it to you, John, to send to Kent.
Oh, you did? Okay, well then I'll send it to him. Hold on.
I'm gonna sign off.
Oh, well, thanks.
Oh,
Bye,
I've been
Jenny.
done. Thank you.
Good to see
Bye.
you.
Jenny, for remembering all that.
See you Friday.
Good to see you. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
You too.
What a memory.
Oh, yeah, she remembers everybody's first and last name. Yeah. And
We left, I was going to say, we left off kind of, Taffy got interrupted.
Yeah.
She was discussing politics in Idaho, and she was making some remarks about Christians, and I'm agreeing with her that Trump is the epitome of what I see a Christian, especially conservative Christian, to be like. Though I've heard comments that that because sometimes it's a belief that within the body of somebody who seems to be an antichrist figure is a leader, is a leader in disguise of the Christians towards a better life or something like that. I've heard. I don't know if anybody else has heard that, but Taffy, did you want to continue? Because you got interrupted.
No, just basically those are my thoughts. That in fact I have a girlfriend who's a real woman's liver, and she supports him. And I said, of all the things that he says, this was some time ago when he talked about women. I said, how can you support somebody when you're a women's liver? and you hear him degrading women the way he does. I don't know. She just thought he was a wonderful person. But
Do you remember what her reply was?
no, I don't. I wish I did. No, I remember after he was elected, every morning you'd wake up saying, well, now what is going to be on the news? It was always, every morning something new. Now what? And it was, a lot of a cloud over your head all the time when he was in office, because he was always coming up with something. And there was
Well, it
something he
hasn't
said.
stopped. He's still doing that.
Yeah, I know. And he makes up stuff. There was something my husband was talking about this morning that was in the paper. I forgot what it was. I wish he went down to answer the doorbell, so I don't know. I could call Dave in and say, what did you say this morning? But yeah, he makes up stuff and he lies.
Excuse me, Gail, but I'm failing in sending this to Kent. Is there any way you can send it to him directly? I can't get new message. I pushed.
If you give me his email address, I have Gail's thing on my iPhone, and I could just send a forward to him.
Yeah, I don't know how to get off this new message thing for some reason. I
Oh,
pushed
I just sent it to him
Oh, you did? Okay.
just now.
Okay.
Because I didn't know I had his email, but it was stored in my computer.
Oh,
Okay. I don't know how I'm going to get off this.
okay. So
I
you
just don't.
I could do it on my cell phone here,
Mm.
but you got it. All right, I'll cancel this.
To change the subject, and when I think of LA now, I think of homeless population. I'm wondering if they're making any strides, or if you see homeless people everywhere, or what the situation is.
You see homeless people everywhere, especially under the freeway bridges. They make encampments. Somebody comes and cleans it out, and then they go back in. It's like a free cleaning service every 3 weeks. Karen Bass, our mayor, is trying to do more about it. We just passed legislation in the last election towards more housing and better better what is it called, mental help for people that are homeless. And that's all I know. It's a consideration for me to have a school, a new music school, in a place where I'm not going to have homeless drop in on especially children and parents, so that's another factor.
Mm.
It's
Could I
very,
ask a naive
very
question?
depressing.
Well, don't they have to be at least 500 feet from a school?
Well, that's a public school. It doesn't, I'm a private enterprise. Yeah.
Well, what difference does it make when children are involved?
I don't know. But it means that I have to hire somebody to be outside to make sure that nobody comes in.
Wow.
It's
You have that now where you are? You have to have a guard?
No, not where I am now. No, I'm in an industrial area and there's nothing really happening, which is part of the problem, is that it's not in a good area for me to expose my business, because we're in the industrial area of Santa Monica, if you can remember what that's like.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we're in an industrial building. So I'm not affected by homelessness. But I feel so sorry for people. That
They're
have a
human
situation. They're human beings, and yet I have to admit that it's somewhat repulsive to me, to see this, and it's just hard to accept. But I try to be kind. I never give them money because I'm afraid they're going to use it just for alcohol or drugs. So I will give them food. I will give them a towel or a blanket or something that I can get rid of, or a piece of clothing. But one time I gave food to somebody who was walking in front of my house, and they took the plate and threw it all over the yard with all the breakfast foods on it. So I don't know. So
Could I ask a naive question? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I are rents just being raised because people feel they can make more money by charging more money, or is it more complex? I'm kind of a financially naive person. Why
John,
why why are
turn your
rents being?
computer down so we don't just see the top half of your, yeah, great.
There we go.
Can you see me now? Okay, I never got it back after trying to send something to Kent. I'm often, and I have a little picture here.
Well,
Well, they're
in
building
Los
they're
Angeles,
building all kinds of housing here where I am in Hollywood. All kinds of new
oh,
construction.
Well, how expensive are those things? I remember, I always moved to more like East Hollywood and things when I was living out there and I was teaching, and I was looking for a place where I could work and live, and um, and so I drifted towards the area that would be west of Western Avenue, and kind of between Sixth Avenue, or sometimes between Olympic and
Oh,
Hollywood Boulevard.
right at Sunset and Western, they leveled a huge city block, huge, and it's under construction.
Hmm. I guess I don't quite understand. I don't know why rents are so high. I
Well,
mean, is it
because
just that?
everybody wants to move here where it doesn't snow.
it's a supply and demand. And also during COVID, everybody put kind of a moratorium or temporarily on rising prices. And then all of a sudden, everything's more expensive and the cost of labor has gone way up and construction has gone up. And, it's just part of the price of cost of living nowadays. So that's why it's gone up. But then it makes it so unaffordable for most people. A lot of people are moving out of the Los Angeles area to places where it's more affordable because they just can't make it.
Like to Idaho.
Like to Idaho.
We have had a huge influx. I mean, I can't believe our population.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. A lot of people have moved to the Boise area, which is warmer, and it's the capital, of course, but we have a huge influx up here in northern Idaho. And we had these wonderful prairies where they grew grass seed and wheat. And we drive down the streets and they're now full of apartments and crummy little homes. But they're giving more housing. It is nice. There's more housing now for the people who are moving here, but they're building up so much around here. I hardly recognize some of the, they're all moving to North Idaho.
What is the town you live in there?
We're in the town of Hayden Lake, and we're just 20 minutes north of Coeur d'Alene. And we have a lot of suburbs around Coeur d'Alene, just like LA, different areas that are now melding one into the other. And
How big is Coeur d'Alene?
when we moved here, the population of Idaho was under 1 million people. It was 900 and some odd thousand. Well, now we're almost at 2 million, and we've been here since 1996. And
Why
so,
did you move there?
my husband, when he retired, he said he just wanted a new adventure. And we'd been here. He had a sabbatical. He's a high school teacher. We had a sabbatical in 1991, I think it was, and we traveled around the country, and we came through North Idaho on our way home. And we'd gone all the way to the East Coast, and then we were coming home. And I said that a patient of ours had talked about Lake Pend Oreille and Sandpoint. Sandpoint is kind of an artist community north of us. And I said, let's go by and see this area. Well, we fell in love. Trees and the big lake and everything. And so anyway, that's how we found it. And he just wanted a new adventure in life. So here we are. Here we are. And it's very nice. I really like it, except that every now and then my husband says he wishes he was still in California because he doesn't like the politics here. He misses the politics in LA and California. And because he's a retired teacher, he'll say, God bless the state of California, because he has a teacher's retirement, which is and the medical benefits. And
Mhm.
anyway, people speak negatively about California, but he has nothing but good to say about it. It's a good progressive state. That's
I-
his opinion.
I speak negatively about California, and I've lived
Do
here all my
you?
life. Yeah,
If we were there, probably we would speak negatively about it. But compared
Yeah.
to here, it looks pretty good.
Roger, what's your grief? The taxes and regulations, that kind of thing?
my governor,
What don't you like about Newsom?
he's a, well,
Go ahead, we're just
He's a
discussing.
politician.
there's an article in my paper this last week about Governor Newsom and the COVID-19, and it was an article saying that it's a great blueprint for what not to do as a governor. Like you shut down the schools, except for the private schools where his kids go to school.
Mhm.
They stayed open. He said, wear your masks and don't go into like at a restaurant and where you're all close together. And
Mhm.
so then that's what he did.
Mhm.
And then he said, no, that was in a different county, so that didn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
COVID is particular to which county it goes to. And just and then we had a huge surplus. And then the COVID came around, and so then they decided to give everybody either 700 or 350 a check to help because of people losing their jobs and all that stuff. And a whole bunch of those checks went out, and a lot of them went to people who were in prison
Oh.
because they were employed. And,
Yeah.
just and now we've got a huge deficit.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, that's right.
just a few of the things.
Mhm. Mhm.
It seems like he really wants to be president badly.
Mhm.
Yes, that's true.
Mhm.
But if people, when he does, hopefully, all these things that he's done in the past as governor will come out, and they'll say, "Good heavens, I don't want him for commander in chief." Or anyway,
Mhm.
like I said before, the pox on both their houses.
Which do you think is the worst of the two evils?
Oh, well, I don't know who Clinton's or who Clinton.
Biden.
No, the other guy.
Trump.
Brain dead.
Obama?
Trump. I don't know
Oh,
who
Trump.
I don't know who he's going to pick for a running mate. But wow, I hope Biden picks someone other than Harris.
Well, we're hoping he picks Nikki Haley. We hope
Yeah.
Biden picks Nikki
Biden
Haley.
does?
Yeah,
Nikki won't do that.
and she's a Republican, I know, but my
She's not going to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're hoping Biden would pick Nikki Haley?
right.
Oh,
Right.
she's really conservative. I mean, anti-choice, the whole business.
Hmm.
But she's also anti-Trump, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But she's been very cautious about it.
Hmm.
I think sometimes a lot of people who vote Democratic are very concerned, as I am, about healthcare and environmental issues,
Hmm.
and that those are the big ones.
And now the big one is reproductive choice.
Well, that
And
I thought
immigration.
That's the big one for Republicans.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think I understand much about immigration. I mean, my grandparents were immigrants. They came over on my mother's side in the 1890s from Germany, and my father's side, or half of my father's side, came over from industrial England, up in the area of Manchester, probably around the time of the Civil War. And I mean, weren't there kinds of needs to have people come over for things like
textile mills. Yeah.
textile mills, or further out, going out to the west and being farmers and things like that. And I don't know what to say. I don't want to just I give a knee-jerk response saying, "Oh, I believe this, I believe that." I honestly don't quite understand all the issues. You know, I as I said before, I guess I average out. I've always averaged out to Democrat. Though looking at oh gee, now I've got my memory block. What's the guy that was running was going to Bernie Sanders? I seem to agree with everything he says. That, you know, the things I have problems with and wonder about are little adjunct things that come off his different points.
It's interesting that young people love Bernie so much.
Mhm.
I would like to hear more. I would like to hear more discussion about all these issues, you know, and people talking to each other on both sides of things, you know, without hostility, without name calling.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, well, we are. Yeah, we are. But I've even gotten a lot of name calling to me from people who were, you know, who are Democrats, who are more to the left, and they've revised their opinions on things since the time of the 60s, and it's been angry name calling.
That you were too conservative?
Yeah, that I didn't. Yeah, yeah, and I'm even afraid to say things on the. I mean, we're on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, we're on YouTube. I am nervous about speaking publicly about my questions about things.
Wow. That alone is very scary to me, that you're scared of that. It's just
In a
a
democracy.
coming sign that, you know, the big brother is watching you, and be careful what you say anymore. You might end up in prison by a dictator in the future or something for saying that you're for this or that.
Yeah,
that's
or you could be
very
in trouble
scary.
if you work in an educational institution. If you say the wrong thing, that things are. I feel I'm between both houses. I feel I'm between both houses. I mean, you know, I'm an art teacher, so I've always moved in the liberal world, I guess you'd say. But people become canceled, people become accused of things. I don't know. I feel by the same ticket, I live in a largely Trumpish area. I'm up in the country of New York State, and you know, I'm nervous about things like that. I'm nervous about that side of things.
Where do you live in New York State?
I live.
Don't tell anybody; they might find you.
Yeah, they might find me. Yeah, I live in the Finger Lakes area. Yeah, that's where I live.
You live way up north.
Oh yeah, I do. I just lied about where I am, but it's sort of like that. You know what I mean?
I used to live in upstate New York, in a little town called near Cornwall on Hudson, in a little town called Valesgate, which is south of Windsor and Newburgh.
Okay, I knew where Newburgh. I do live a little bit north of Newburgh, and I live right by the Hudson. You know, I do, and it's, you know, I live in an affordable county. Ruth and I, you know, we're both painters, and we used to paint during the summer up in Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and we wondered about doing it all year round, endless summer. And you know, we have, you know, an old farmhouse, and we have land, not a lot, but we have 4 acres. Imagine 4 acres in Beverly Hills, Westwood. You know,
Yeah, right.
And I mean, our mortgage, which is actually paid off. It was, it was really low compared to what people pay for rent or pay more in other places. And
Yeah, mine was paid off 20 years ago, I think.
that's amazing.
Mhm.
Where do you live, Henry?
On the Sunset Boulevard in the heart of Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
That's great then.
What are you all finding for the people who have grandchildren? What are you finding about their how their worldview is? And you have your 12-year-old.
I have 11-year-old and a 10-year-old. The 10-year-old lives in Los Angeles area. The 11-year-old got really bent out of shape when they had that. She lives in Portland, Maine, and just north of there was that terrible
Shooting.
shootout it was, I forget the name of the town, but
Yeah.
it's close to Portland, and it really changed her life a lot. She just was very so upset about that, and it's a shame that.
She's anxious now.
Yeah, well, she's not. I mean, I'm terribly anxious, but she had to be reassured, calm down, because she'd never experienced anything like that. And I worry because she's in a school with 100 kids. It's a private school. It's run by the Friends,
Quakers.
the Quakers. Yeah, it's run by the Quakers. They have 40 acres, and there's a lot of outdoor education on the 40 acres of land around the school, and they have no gates or fences. And I worry every day that some weird person is just going to be hiding behind a tree when they're out there doing some kind of science project, But
Well, the Quakers are pacifists, right?
Yeah.
absolutely,
So they're not carrying guns around waiting for people to attack them.
no, not that either. So it bothers me, and I think I'm just remembering my own childhood, and I grew up in Los Angeles in the kind of the mid Wilshire Carthay Center. I went to Carthay Center School for a while, if you remember where that is, off on Olympic, near between Robertson and Fairfax, that area. And I was 5 years old, and I lived a block and a half from the school, and I had to cross under a tunnel to get to the school from where I lived, and I went all by myself, and it was not a problem at 5 years old. Can you imagine?
Mhm. Mhm.
Doing
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I used to do that, but they've filled in all the tunnels. I had to go across Olympic Boulevard to get to my elementary school, and they've filled in the tunnel because there were too many. It's not safe for kids to go in tunnels.
Is that true of the one that's at Overland going under Santa Monica Boulevard right by the Mormon temple? That's
I
the
don't-
one I used to go under to meet friends.
I don't think any of them are there anymore.
Really?
It's not safe. There are too many maniacs on drugs and drunk walking around that are not pedophiles. They're just maniacs.
Hmm.
And what about your 11-year-old who's in LA? Where did she go to school?
She goes to a public school in the Valley. Can't remember the name of it at the moment. I'm sorry, but she's in the Valley. Kind of.
And does her
Terminal.
family feel safe?
I think so. I guess so. She's doing very well. Both of our girls are doing very well. We're expecting a third grandchild boy pretty soon. Who they live in France, so it's a good excuse to go to France all the time.
Are they pregnant or are they just trying?
They are pregnant. Yeah,
Good.
it's due in August. Our little grandson.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole different system because there's there's subsidized childcare and healthcare and
Oh, yeah, it's great.
time off for moms and dads, and it's a whole different way of raising a child without stress.
Someday, hopefully, we'll get it here.
Are both your grandbaby to come's parents American, or is one of them French?
One of them is actually born a Romanian, and during Ceausescu's time, the parents and the little went once a little boy. They escaped in a haystack or whatever in the back of a truck to get to France. And both parents are engineers, and they live in southern France. And their son was raised there, and our daughter Katie, she was studying a year abroad in Paris, and met her husband at that time.
Was
She
he a
speaks-
student too?
Pardon?
Was he a student as well?
He was getting a master's degree in graphic design. They met at the Pompidou at a lecture. So this is quite a few years ago, and she's now she is a professor at the university in France. So
So she's totally fluent in French by now. That's impressive.
very totally. Hmm.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to leave you all and look forward to the next meeting.
It's nice to see you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
bye, Roger.
Thanks, Roger.
Kathy, it's good to see you again.
Nice to see you, Roger. Now I have nothing but numbers in front of me.
Got one?
Goodbye, Roger. Good seeing you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, Roger.
Wonderful. You combed your hair just right. You put on chapstick.
There.
Yeah. When he said he was going to be on Zoom, I said, "Oh, now I'm going to have to comb my hair and put on lipstick." And
Oh, that's funny.
he said, "Well, he doesn't have any hair to comb, but he'll definitely put on chapstick and take a shower."
That reminds me of a funny story. We have one teacher who is completely bald, or shaves or whatever, and one of his students, for a funny Christmas present, presented him with this giant comb for his hair. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Is that Kent that we can't see, or who is that?
Is
Yes,
Kent-
it can't. I can't see you. I can hear you.
Oh,
Oh,
hi,
hi,
Ken.
Kent.
I can't get your video thing on at the bottom. You click the video at the bottom of your Zoom. No?
No,
Oh, maybe are you on cell phone, or what are you on?
I'm on cell phone.
You have any suggestions, anybody?
That's why I'm worried about doing it on a cell phone, because I don't know if I could do all the things, the mute and all this other stuff. Anyway.
Right.
I couldn't get it on my iPad.
Hmm.
So Ken, are you still thinking about moving to Mexico? What's on your agenda?
Well, yes, I plan on going there, but first, I have a lot of jewelry that I've made, and since COVID, COVID stopped everything, and now that it's starting up again, now there's gem show meetings and jewelry meetings. So I'm going to those before I go to Mexico.
Are they in Arizona? The gem shows?
Well, they have them in Arizona. They have them a lot in California. They have them in every state: Oregon, Idaho, Washington, Colorado, and back east as well.
Do you sell on Etsy, or how do you get your creations sold?
Well, I mean, right now, the easiest or the best or the fastest way for me is by seeing the response at the gem shows.
Or you sell there?
Well, I hope to. I used to.
You have like a little
but
booth?
yeah. I rent a booth and put out my wares. So, I mean, right now I'm just testing the market, see if I can figure out how to sell my stuff.
In the past, what have been the biggest sellers? I mean, earrings or necklaces or rings or what?
That's what I'm finding out. That's what I have to find out.
What in the past, what have you sold the most?
I sold the most jewelry,
Just all
but
kinds?
mostly pendants and rings and some small sculptures. I also sold some polished stones, for any jewelry maker who wanted, nice looking stones. But mostly I sold jewelry.
Mhm.
Gail, because it's getting late, you never talk about yourself. So what are you doing lately? What's happening with you?
Well, as you know, I'm always working on a book, and I'm finishing up a book called World Religions in Microcosm, and it included Linda Sobel and Joel Rosenberg and their partners, like I emailed. So I've interviewed families from different parts of the world about their religious, spiritual practices. So that's been really interesting. And people are concerned about what they call growing secularization of people not being affiliated with a particular religion. But I think that's true, but also people are what I found in my interviews, they're really eclectic. So they'll observe the Jewish Sabbath, and then there's a statue of Buddha in the mantle, and they're meditating some kind of Hindu. So it's changing from being really more spiritual and eclectic is what I've found. And then, I'm always dancing. So I'm perfecting my West Coast swing.
Whoa.
Sorry. There's some of my dance videos on my YouTube channel, little ones down at the bottom.
Incredible. You're incredible.
Thank you.
Wow. Great.
And my grandson is 13 and has purple hair.
Already?
He's in
You're supposed to wait until you're 15.
No, he's 13. He's 5'9" and growing. So it'll be interesting to see. He's taller than both his parents at this point. It'll be interesting to see if he makes it to 6 feet or what. So, but I've been lucky to have him in town. But he and his mom are going to move to Berlin for high school, so I won't have him in town.
Berlin, Germany?
You bet. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
His other grandmother is German and lives in Berlin.
That's a great city. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Just amazing city.
Yeah, I'm pleased for him to do that. We just have to hope that he gets it's interesting. There's an American government funded JFK International School that doesn't have a tuition fee. So that's where they want him to go. And they've applied, but he's on a wait list. So I just have to cross his fingers because he doesn't have German facility. It would be too hard to be in a German gymnasium. It would be so well, my fingers are crossed that he gets into school.
Is this a permanent move or just through high school or something?
Well, the mom, my son and my grandson's mother aren't a couple. So she majored in math at Chico State and hasn't been able to get a good job. And in Germany, she can go to grad school with no tuition. Her mother's there. It's Berlin, not Chico. So I think it's probably permanent. But I hope he comes to college here.
Hopefully. Does he have any privilege to go to Chico State because you're the professor there?
No, when my son went to Humboldt State, and we got a little bit of reduced fees, but not much. But I'm not teaching there now, so there's that. I put aside money for him, so one of those college funds. So that's not a problem. Anything else that anyone has on their mind?
I'm just curious about Henry, who hasn't spoken very much, and how are you doing, Henry, in life?
I'm just recovering from some cancer surgery. I had a melanoma on the top of my head, and they cut that out. They took some skin from my chest to put it up there for a skin graft, and they removed a lymph node to make sure that it hadn't spread. And I guess it has not.
Oh, good.
Only because I objected to the doctor. She's the senior, she's got her own dermatology group, probably the largest one at Cedars. She said, "Oh, I'll just burn this off with liquid nitrogen." And I told her, "No, you biopsy it." So she biopsied it, and it came back with melanoma. So if I listened to her, I'd probably be dying.
Yeah. I'm
Wow,
sorry.
good for you to be your own advocate. That's great. And I just wanted to say I've been in contact with Joyce Scholar, and she was in surgery
For the
for
lung
lung cancer, and then there's complications. She had to go back into emergency something. But the latest report is that things are going well for her. So
Oh, good.
glad to
Glad
report
to hear that. Very glad to hear that.
And Kathy Stone checked in and said has trips planned to Mexico and Paris, and then to Vail again in the summer for the music festival. So that woman's on a keep it moving trip.
she's a nomad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was good to see everybody, and we will see each other in April.
I'm going to miss
Wonderful.
April, but I'll see you maybe in May.
Okay.
I'll be traveling around.
Take care.
Good to
Okay,
see you.
bye-bye.
Au revoir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.